Hi, hello people. My name is, you can say Lavandula, Big 16, or just Lav, as people know me by. It's gonna be my first video where I actually talk in it, so hello. My voice has been in the 2 streams that are on my YouTube channel. This is gonna be the first video where I actually talk in it, so yeah. I'm recording this video, or at least this first section, at around 1 in the morning, so I don't know when the video is coming out, but that's when I'm recording this first section. But I wanted to get this video out, and hopefully it gets out soon, just to keep people updated who may not have Discord and see what's going on. If you're new to the channel, probably from the Teapot BIAST, or however, BIAST videos, however you want to pronounce it, and you hopefully saw that I was posting about stuff happening with BIAST and my community posts, because some major stuff has happened that will affect the game moving forward, and because no one else to my knowledge has covered it on YouTube yet, I've decided to make a video about it. And also because I just wanted to try my hand at making a quote-unquote drama video, and just see how it goes, and if it ends up going well, I might do it more in the future. But I don't want it to become the main thing that my channel does. To start off, even though it's just separated from most of the stuff that's happened, it happened at around almost the same time as everything else, so I felt it would be best to bring it up in my posts, and might as well bring it up here because I already mentioned it in my posts, and it's especially to cover my grounds. But just a quick note before I end up beginning. For anyone I end up mentioning in this video, please do not harass anybody I mention in this video if I do happen to mention them by name. Whether what they did doesn't really matter. Harassing and anything that may come from harassing somebody is just generally pretty scummy behavior, and it'll just make everything worse. So please don't do that. Please. First thing I'm gonna end up explaining for this part of the video that's recorded at 1 in the morning is the stuff that happened with the Mango Obby and its creator, which the name just doesn't sound very serious, and hopefully if you're watching this you know what it is, but I'm just gonna end up explaining it and its creator and what happened with them. For this beginning section, I'm just going to refer to them as the creator or just creator, not only for brevity's sake, but also for their own safety as a just-in-case precaution, because regarding what's happened, I want them to be safe. I don't want to put anyone in danger by making a video. So, a couple of days back, Lemon, who was basically the owner, or at least the face of my staff at the time, posted clips of them just playing on the testing version of the game, and they happened to be playing Slacker, who was, tall, lanky, all black dude with Mario Rum face, but had a unique skin that just turned him into Kendrick Lamar. This then made people really want to be able to skin, because it's Kendrick Lamar. And so a little bit afterwards, I don't really know when because I wasn't keeping track of it, and it's just not really didn't look into it all that much. But before the game was made, they ended up kind of partially partnering with somebody who made a game called Mango Obby, which had Kendrick Lamar in it. And again, hopefully from the name, you can tell what it was. It was, I put in the script, brain rot themed Obby, but technically not what it is, but it kinda is. Kinda depends on how you see it. The point was, since the Kendrick skin was meant to be for admins only, they designed the Obby to be extremely difficult and unfair. Even if before they partnered with them to make it so you would get the skin for beating it, it was still difficult. From here, I'm not really sure what caused it to happen, but after it was announced that winning would not only give you the skin, but the first place winner would get, I think it was announced that 7,000 Robux. I'll probably have a screenshot on the screen here, and we'll see how right I was. But soon after this was announced, one of the developers would come out and say that the creator of the Obby would actually end up being doxxed and given deference, and would soon after delete almost their entire internet presence entirely for their own safety. To sort of clear the air a little bit here, a staff member did come out and say that the creator of the Obby is fine. This is mostly because people were spreading rumors that the creator had taken their own life, and or that they were close to doing so. Thankfully though, the creator is just fine, and personally they have my greatest sympathies, and I hope they're doing alright. Kind of just to throw my personal experience in there about the Obby, just because I ended up attempting it after I found out about it, about a couple hours before this recording. I ended up getting stuck on stage 41, which was just like tall lava spirals, just really hard jumps. And I honestly did end up giving up because it was just too hard for me. But that is kind of what it was meant to do, is I just call it a rage obby, or just in general a rage game, because that's it was designed to be like that in the first place. But I still cannot imagine being so full of spite from a Roblox game that you then go on to commit what I basically feel to myself might as well be a crime over something so small over the internet. And again, I'm glad the creator's doing alright after everything. Best wishes to them. Alright, so hello, this is me, like 10 in the morning after sleeping, after that first bit I recorded at 1 in the morning. So hopefully I sound a little better. But back to the stuff, the drama. Alright. Time for the main stuff. So for this next section I'm going to be paraphrasing from a Twitter thread made by someone named NJ or 4NJJJE about what Lemon and their friends did that played a part in them, and Lemon's leaving the Discord server, among other things. If you want to read the thread for yourself, I'll have it linked in the description, and if I end up misinterpreting something here, please let me know, just in case, because, again, like I said early in the video, it's just like my first attempt at trying to cover something like this. First thing that NJ ends up bringing up on the thread is that on what was essentially its own separate situation, two people consentingly ERP'd with each other. But soon after, they did that, these people would break up. And screenshots of their conversation over Discord would end up getting sent into a server that had not only the victim in it, but also a dev for BIAST in it, named Milka. The entire server would go on to harass the victim and even go as far as to dox them and send pictures of their house and even make alt Discord accounts with the victim's full name as the account name and the victim's face as the profile picture. The victim themselves would then just go on the victim would then go on to ask Lemons to just do something, take action, or punish Milka, as they were a part of the situation, and one of Milka's friends was heavily involved in the harassment, but would just be shut down by Lemons instead. And one screenshot, hopefully I'm showing on screen when I'm recording this, Lemons even made fun of the victim while actively talking to them. The creator of the thread, as in NJ, upon finding out this info would go to Larry, who's basically the background owner for BIAST and a couple of other games, and also asked them to just do something about Milka. Just to be told that Larry can't remove Milka due to them having done too much animation work for the game, saying that they were responsible for 90% of the animations in the game. Sometime shortly after, or around the same time, Forsaken News on Twitter would end up posting screenshots of the conversation, and the victim would also get a death threat. Now, as far as I'm aware, that's where everything regarding this victim that's major ends. Essentially, didn't really say if the victim's okay or what's really going on with them, since this is all partially concluded. After looking at what they did, and I honestly hope they're alright, because they didn't really do anything all that bad. What they did between each other was private. They both consented to it, and because they ended up splitting up afterwards for private reasons that obviously we don't know, it ended up being shown to tons of people, which is, it's not good. And honestly, I don't really think anyone should be doxxed over something so, I want to say, small. And quite frankly, the victim didn't really do, to me, anything all that wrong, because again, they consented, it was meant to be private, and ended up being not private. Around 2 months ago, someone by the name of Fenko would be removed from the BIAST staff team due to some racist comments they made prior to them working on the game, and was supposedly just removed entirely. Well, as it turns out, some staff would find out that Fenko is actually using admin-only commands in-game, despite being removed from the staff and the Discord server. This situation will be brought to Lemons, in which they would say they have no clue how they got admin and why they weren't banned. But we would soon find out afterwards that this was just a lie. Shortly after Fenko's ban, Lemons would put out a short statement about why they were banned, and admits to purposely hand-picking out-of-context messages from Fenko to make them look worse than they actually already did, to just ensure that they would be gone. But the staff team wouldn't find out about this until after the thread was made. Now, it may or may not have been obvious, but Lemons knew the entire time that Fenko had admin. In fact, Lemons and only one other person had the ability to even grant admin commands. So, Lemons got Fenko banned from the game's Discord server, but then would unban Fenko and give them admin on the game, and then try to lie about knowing to everyone. And when people were at risk of finding out about this and their concerns about Fenko being around, Lemons would go on to not take it seriously. To wrap up this thread, NJ would go on to talk about the Mango Obby and the creator a short bit, who I talked about at the beginning of the video when I recorded that first section at 1 in the morning. But they end up showing that before the, I'm just going to say, major events of the server happened, which I will bring up later, which end up with the announcement channel getting flooded, which made finding messages a bit more difficult on my part. Lemons would put out a very, I'll say, unprofessional statement regarding what people were doing to the creator of the Mango Obby. Just simply calling people animals and just saying to not send death threats, before then immediately telling staff to not abuse the announcement pane. Kind of just showing that they didn't really treat the situation with the respect that it deserves, knowing what was happening to the creator. To close it all off, NJ shows that Lemons had never actually paid them a cent for any of their work within the game. And with Lemons now practically gone, although they are supposedly going to come back and make a statement regarding everything. At the time of recording, this hasn't happened, so I don't think they're going to see any of the money that they should be paid and deserve to be paid anytime soon. Now to the reason I'm sort of making this video in the first place. For undisclosed reasons, Lemon as well as others would all suddenly leave the BIAST Discord server, and the thread that I had gone over a couple minutes ago would be put up and fans of the game would discover it. All this led to the server being bombarded with activity, with people wondering what's going on, is the game okay, was it over for the game? This would lead to the remaining staff in the server to shut down all the channels and slowly put out information over the next couple of hours regarding what's going on. Mostly bringing up information we already know from the thread, but, you know. Now everyone was just debating about what was going to happen in the suggestion thread because, yes, the staff forgot to lock down the suggestions thread channel when they were locking down the whole server. You would get statements from someone named Joe announcing that they'd be taking Lemon's position as director of the game, and saying that they're going to try to make the game experience better for everyone, and taking the game overall much more seriously, and taking it in a more serious direction. Joe would also go on to say that because of all this, the game was going on indefinite hiatus for an unspecified amount of time. Now, while the server was locked due to the drama, and due to the drama, around 5 or so people, presumably a bit more, ranging from animators to map makers, would end up leaving the staff team. And one of which was the person who made Steam Nut, that teapot themed Cupexa skin I really liked. So that's a shame. Although, because they left, we didn't get the full chase theme, thus why I uploaded a recording of it to my channel yesterday at the time of writing. Sometime after all of this would happen, the server would get temporarily unlocked for who knows what reasons, although from my memory it was only the general channel. It ended up being too chaotic for the staff team, and they ended up shutting the server down a second time, although they did remember to lock down the suggestions thread. But then people found another workaround and discovered an old thread that was made about the Mango Obby and the announcements channel, and they didn't lock that down. At the time of writing this, which is the 28th of July at around 11 in the morning, I don't know if the thread is still open or not. Okay, it's not open, it's gone. They in fact actually, as I'm actively recording this, I did find the thread. They ended up shutting it down entirely and banned 2 people in it. Well, from here, the future of the game looks uncertain. I can't say where it will or won't go, and I only know as much as I can without being staff. To me, I feel like the best outcome right now is just what Joe said will happen, which is that everything will be back up and running after some time, and the game will get updates and stuff as normal after I end up filling in spots from people who left. But in the worst case scenario, I see the dev team possibly dissolving and just leaving the game to rot, functional but without updates. But at the moment, that seems extremely unlikely. Alright, well, that's the end of the video. Hopefully you came out of this just knowing what happened. I made this video because, like I said, not everyone has Discord or even Twitter. And when I'm recording this video, as far as I'm aware, no one has made a video covering everything that's happened. And I feel almost obligated to keep people informed after the recent videos I made about BIAST did so well and attracted so many people in the community to my channel. I really hope that you actually all like this video. I tried my hardest to cover basically everything important that's happened, while also just trying to give my own thoughts on it. And I apologize if I end up getting anything wrong or if I generally just didn't do all too good. This is my first attempt at not only covering drama about something I'm interested in, not only is it my first video to have my actual voice in it, but this will be my first video where I actually sit down and write a script to help keep my thoughts more collected and sound more professional. I want to treat everything with the respect it rightfully deserves, but I still want to come off as light-hearted and not ultra serious or sad. That's all for now, though. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, whichever applies to you. And, well, bye.